welcome to second season of Media in the Morning.
I can't believe they renewed us.
I know, I mean, we're the only thing on this media property, so
Sure enough.
we're soul
And
content.
who's the host?
I guess I'm the host in second season, and this is my co-host, Matt Diskin, but at least you haven't been replaced fully by Jamie Alter.
Not yet.
Not yet, indeed. So, in this new season, we're starting off with the very interesting and exciting new topic of the Metaverse. There's a lot of buzz around it. And we're really excited that Joe Guagliardo in our New York office, a partner in the venture tech group, is joining us. He is an expert in all things Metaverse, as new as it is. He is my go-to guy in New York on the Metaverse. So thank you so much, Joe, for joining us today. We're so excited to have you here and to talk about the Metaverse.
Yeah, but I'll be honest. Thanks again, Joe. I gotta be honest. I don't even know what Metaverse means. Is it a place? Can I go there? How do I get there? Do I need a headset? What is it?
Yeah, Matt, I don't think anybody really knows what it is yet. And I think that's what's really interesting about it is it's still being defined. And so I like to think of it as it's really all of the things that we have learned and we have used over the last 25 plus years in technology, right? It's the internet. It is more immersive experiences. It's AI, machine learning, virtual reality, augmented reality technology that's coming. It's gaming, it's blockchain and crypto, it's all of those things coming together in a different sort of next version of social media. That's really how I think of it. And again, we're still defining it, just like we couldn't really define where the internet was going to take us 25 years ago. We're sort of there now at another level of growth and innovation where this is going to take us to do different things and interact and engage in e-commerce and engage in business in new ways that we haven't in the past.
Okay, so with any new technology, there's going to be a host full of legal issues. I mean, Matt and I are both lawyers, so this is sort of the hammer seeing everything as a nail, but seems like there'll be a host of issues. There are a host of issues in the regular universe. Presumably they'll be the same in the Metaverse. So what are some key legal issues that we expect to encounter in this new world?
Yeah, so I think if you look at the Metaverse as sort of a new class of digital assets and the creation of new digital assets, so whether it's some Metaverse world with e-commerce and virtual shops and virtual offices, we're creating new digital assets, and so naturally there will be intellectual property issues and questions, right? The laws and the concepts around intellectual property are not going to change. It's just that we have a new set of digital assets. We're creating new copyright material. We're using brands, and everyone has read in the news and big brands getting involved in the Metaverse and buying property in some of these virtual worlds. Obviously there will be trademark issues there. And I think just like the early days of the internet, and even today in the internet, sort of there's copying, there's prolific copying on copyright, there's trademark infringement. And I think when you expand into new, virtual assets, that continues to be a problem, but it's also an opportunity, right? For creating new digital assets, creating new intellectual property, right? And so I think that's going to be very important. Obviously, if you look at it through the lens of digital assets, blockchain, crypto, there's all the regulatory questions around that, right? Which still exist outside of the Metaverse, but are now sort of part of that, whether it's gaming, whether it's payments, all of those issues then are going to be moved into the Metaverse and are still going to be, questions. And how do regulators deal with, crypto and digital assets? What are they? Is still an open question and something that regulators around the world are going to be grappling with.
I see. Now, Joe, don't take this the wrong way, but are you actually getting work? Are lawyers doing work in this area, or is this all just made up?
Yeah, that's a great question, because we've in the early days of blockchain and crypto, that has been a question. It's like what are we actually going to be doing? The reality of it is there's a lot going on. again, from a regulatory perspective, from a tax perspective, from a corporate structuring perspective. So if you're creating a virtual game that involves, NFTs, non-fungible tokens, there's corporate work. How do you set up these structures? What is a decentralized autonomous organization? How do you structure that? What are the international tax issues in setting up that kind of structure? So there's a lot of work there. There's a lot of work in the regulatory, right? What are these? How do we issue non-fungible tokens or digital assets in a compliant way? There's a lot of work that we're doing in helping guiding, projects, early stage projects and large enterprises that want to do business in this, right? And expand and build new digital assets.
So can I take my assets offshore to a virtual country? I mean, how does jurisdiction play into this?
Yeah, so jurisdiction is an interesting question because a lot of this, particularly when you're dealing with digital assets and decentralization, where two individuals or two enterprises can interact and do e-commerce without having an agreement in place, it sort of begs the question of, well, what laws actually govern? And I think what we're going to have to find and what we'll decide is it's going to end up being the same jurisdictional questions that we have in the e-commerce world, right? Is where are the individuals domiciled? Where have the transactions taken place? Things like regulatory issues. And if you look at it sort of from a US regulatory perspective to protect consumers, it's going to be where is the consumer located that a regulator is interested in protecting, and that law is probably going to govern, right? It's complicated because of the international aspect of this, and it is a global movement, but it will be front and center in legal issues that we're facing.
And I wonder too if we'll sort of see what's happening with the .com, .net sort of world where there's an international adjudicative body that might sort of try to squeeze its way in, so that way there's one centralized
maybe WIPO.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows? But maybe we'll have to become qualified as Metaverse lawyers, and so we can go to virtual court there.
I like it. You can join the Metaverse bar. That would be pretty cool.
Well, lots of interesting legal issues for us to ponder, both offline and perhaps in some future episodes. But seems like we got us lawyers have our work cut out for us for sure.
Yeah. So Joe, just sort of last question. What's the best thing that let's call it traditional companies can do to start getting themselves aligned and prepared for working in this new environment?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. I always tell individuals and our clients on the enterprise side is get involved in projects, even if it means buying and conversing in the metaverse, because you learn by being involved. And so that's very important in this space. I think is sort of being involved so that you continue to learn and evolve, just like we did in the early days of the internet. Because you're going to need to explore and you're going to need to evolve. And I think because it's so early, being involved in sort of testing and piloting and partnering with others, particularly early stage companies that are very plugged into this space, I think is going to be really important on the enterprise side to sort of learn, how do you participate in this? What does it mean for your business? And even help shape, where we're headed in this space.
Very cool. So do you think, I'm just saying, Meredith, maybe we NFT? Should we NFT the mugs?
We should NFT the mugs. We should get in the metaverse. We should get our avatars set up. I mean, I think these avatars are halfway there, so we just have to get into the right universe. So, Joe, thank you so much for having us. It's been tremendously helpful and interesting.
Well, it's just great to get someone who actually knows anything about this, because I sure don't. But we really do appreciate your time, and hopefully we can do this again soon, and have a great virtual coffee, I suppose.
Until next time, thanks so much, everyone.
Take care.
Pleasure. Thanks.
Dentons is a global legal practice providing client services worldwide through its member firms and affiliates. This episode is not designed to provide legal advice, and you should not take or refrain from taking action based on this content. Please see dentons.com for legal notices.